You are listening to the Locked On Senators live stream of the 2022 Free Agent Frenzy. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller, and if you've already watched today's Locked On Senators, it is Hawaiian Shirt Day for good reason. The vibes are at an all-time high after the Senators have already dominated the offseason, ridding themselves of bad money, acquiring a two-time 40-goal scorer. Oh yeah, who's 24 years old. So with Alex DeBrincat, the top six had an average age of 22 and a half. No longer. The Ottawa Senators have kicked off free agency day, adding 35-year-old veteran, former captain of the Philadelphia Flyers, Claude Giroux, to a 3-year contract with an annual average of 6.5. Our live reaction is being uploaded as we speak, but right here on the Free Agent Frenzy stream, we are going to be just hanging out. We'll get some immediate reaction, but then we are just going to carry this on. We'll have some special guests join us, and we're just all vibes today, Pillsy. But the people are waiting, your immediate reaction for Claude Giroux coming home to the nation's capital.
I'm so excited. I mean, this is an amazing day to be a Senators fan. For it to happen right away, no doubt, he's coming home was such a great feeling. And now you're looking at a top six of, you've got Brady Tkachuk, Josh Norris, Drake Batherson. Get those three boys back together. When they were a line before all the injuries and the season kind of got derailed, they were an absolute unit. Then you got a totally reformed second line. What was the issue with Tim Stützle trying to learn how to play center? He didn't have consistent line mates that really worked with him. Well, I think he's going to be pretty happy to see a 40-plus goal scorer and a veteran with great hockey IQ and vision like Claude Giroux, and someone that can help him out in the face-off dot. This top six is immaculate now. Like, even if the Sens didn't sign Claude Giroux, I would have been okay with that. I would have thought, okay, Joseph, he in a small sample size, he did good up with Norris and Tkachuk. We'll get to Brinkett down with Stützle and Batherson, and that's a nice top six. This is a better than nice top six. This is an incredible nice six. And can we just nice six? I like that, actually. It's a nice six. Yeah. Can we just get the season going? Like, I don't want to have to wait for hockey now. I don't want to have to wait to get these Senators going, to see DeBrincat, to see Giroux in their uniforms. Let's get going right away. I'm so fired up.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. The Sens fans might have heard once upon a time when Matt Duchene was acquired. Now, let's start with the term, 3 years. Do you like that with Claude Giroux?
Perfect. Wouldn't go a year more or a year less.
Yeah. Oh, breaking news. Colin White to the Florida Panthers. So that's their Claude Giroux replacement. 1 year, $1.2 million.
I like that. Not a team we had suspected. We had, Buffalo and Boston as the top destinations, but
stays in the Atlantic, so we were a quarter right with divisions.
Credit to us.
Yeah, please.
But that's a good value for Colin White, and that's a good landing spot for him, and that's a bargain price for the Florida Panthers to bank on Colin White if you put him in the right role. I love it. Good on you, Whitey.
Yeah, for sure. All right, back to Claude Giroux. 3 years. It's kind of funny though. The trade is 1 for 1.
We'll take that deal all day long.
Yes, 100%. So you look at what Claude Giroux brings to the Ottawa Senators on a 3-year term. It'll be his 34, 35, 36-year seasons in the National Hockey League. He's a guy who already has 923 NHL points, a guy who hasn't slowed down offensively. There's a little dip, but then he more than recovered. He just finished off last season at over a point per game, spending time with the Florida Panthers, 8 points in 10 games in the postseason as well. So what kind of impact do you think he's going to have throughout the length of his contract? Do you see a regression towards the start, towards the end, or is this guy going to be an ageless wonder?
I think he's going to come in hot this year, for sure. Year 2 will be interesting. Year 3, I think it's really going to be kind of a backseat. I'm going to be a disher, kind of like Joe Thornton turned out later on in his career. Now he's not in his 40s like Joe Thornton was with the Panthers, but kind of like where Joe Thornton was at when he was slowing down, but he's still a really effective, big body, smart player.
Yep, 100%. Now, where it gets kind of funny, because you mentioned Joe Thornton, and that was, I would say, less a mistake by the Toronto Maple Leafs because you're bringing him in on a 1 year, $1 million type contract. But this one more so reminds me of another mistake from the Toronto Maple Leafs. But I'll tell you why I like this a lot better than that. And I'm thinking of Patrick Marleau, who was signed to a 3-year contract in 2017 with the Toronto Maple Leafs at an annual average of 6.25. So a little bit less, and we don't know what the breakdown is, but 14.5 million of the 18.75 in that deal was signing bonus. We know the Leafs can just throw that out, whatever. But when you look at it, Claude Giroux, 3 years younger at that point in his career. So it's the same length, a little bit more, but you're getting a guy who's 3 years younger than what Patrick Marleau signed. And we know that they ended up having to get rid of a first-round pick that's already contributing in the NHL and Seth Jarvis. And that was kind of, I think, what tweaked Leaf fans' brains like they needed any more to make them think that Ottawa was giving up a significant prospect in the Matt Murray trade discussion.
They're not.
They're not. But to get Patrick Marleau off their books, they had to do that. I don't see that in this future at all. Claude Giroux is going to come in, and just what he brings off the ice, I'd say, has a ton of value. What would you give to be a fly on the wall of the Sens team group chat right now? Because I'm sure it is absolutely buzzing.
If Dorion thought he was getting high fives and hugs when they acquired Alex Burrows, I wonder how many high fives and hugs he's getting now after this week that he's had. Like,
a few.
The man can do no wrong this summer. As far as I'm concerned, pretty much everything he has done has worked out perfectly, was executed perfectly, fits in, and it's an incredible feeling. And we're on hour 1 of free agency, and we already feel this good. We had to wait how long? I mean,
we had to wait through an entire trade deadline of Erik Karlsson speculation. Didn't happen. We had to wait through an entire trade deadline up to 5 seconds left for the Mark Stone trade to go through. Yep. That could not happen here.
And those were not moves we were stoked about either.
No, but especially after that late rumor, and we heard it as well, that the New York Rangers were right in the mix.
I didn't buy that for a second.
But guess what? They signed Trocheck to over a $5 million AAV. Like, it's not like we thought that, and I mean, if you're looking to build a roster normally, then maybe you're like, oh, $10 million. They have one goalie and 9 forwards signed, but they were willing to give money out, and they got Vinny Trocheck. And that just shows you that there were other suitors, and the Ottawa Senators lured in a top free agent. That part needs to be a part of this conversation, that he chose the Ottawa Senators of anywhere.
Yeah, it's a big W for sure, because we got a taste of that with the Dadonov signing, but we all know how that worked out. But I know you laugh now, but at the time,
I know
it was a big signing.
He was one of your favorite players. It was
considered to be a good deal. Yeah, he was one of my favorite players. He was scoring like 28 goals a year with the Panthers, and it really seemed like he was going to be the guy to be that finisher on the power play. But don't let me fall in love with Evgeny Dadonov again. What I'm saying is, this is a similar situation where the Sens got their guy, and it's widely considered a good move for both parties, except this time it's going to work out.
All right. Are you ready for the contract breakdown for Claude Giroux?
Okay, that's pretty much what I figured.
Yeah, so you're looking at $7 million in year 1, $7 million in year 2, and 5.5 in year 3. Full no move clause. Good. Give him 2 full no move clauses. We're not letting go of this guy. It took 17 months to manifest it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I'm okay with that for sure. Full no move clause.
Perfect.
Good.
So where does he fit in for you on special teams? Because we had this immediate reaction video, and we discussed the power play, which is going to be
from power plays.
Yeah, which last year, I mean, when you have Gaudette consistently on the second power play,
was on the second power play unit consistently. Like, what was going on?
Our Tierney days are behind us. Please don't swear on the podcast.
Yeah, Sean has asked us to clean it up.
Yeah, so please, Chris.
But to answer your question, I got him on the second power play unit only because that first power play unit was so lethal. Maybe, and I don't know.
So who else then? Because DeBrincat is PP1. The only way that you can even think about it otherwise is you don't want to take away shot attempts from Josh Norris, because they always work it around to that left quarterback position.
I was going to swap out Batherson and DeBrincat, but I don't know how that'll look. Just because then the issue is, like, Norris can be in his spot, but you have another option. So if the Norris play isn't working, which we all know last year they forced it and it still worked, but I'm hoping teams have smartened up. Well, I don't hope that, but I hope they're smart enough to figure out they got to start covering Josh Norris in his office. And then when that happens, you can create space for Alex DeBrincat to do his thing. And I don't think he's as dependent on being in a spot and one-timing it. His release is so good. All you have to do is get him in the puck with an open lane, and he can beat a goalie from anywhere in the O-zone as far as I'm concerned.
It's honestly, what do you call it? Something of riches. What am I looking for? A comedy of riches here.
Yeah, an embarrassment of riches.
Thank you.
We're embarrassed. We're so rich with our nice 6.
Yeah, I'm sure we will be very quiet about it online and not bother anybody else.
These shirts say quiet.
You and I say quiet. Follow the show at Sens Central on Twitter. We got some news coming out. We haven't even touched on this though yet. Connor Brown, the trade talks to Edmonton, off again, on again. People were thinking Jesse Puljujarvi could be a guy who comes back. Well, Mark Spector reporting, he's a Sportsnet guy out in Edmonton, that the Sens are looking for draft picks for Connor Brown. And to me, and you look at what the Sens draft capital is right now, they're only missing their 3rd round pick in the upcoming draft. They still have all their others and an extra 7th. I think that was the one for Erica Branson. Remember, it was a 2024 7th round pick last year. God, he actually had a decent year. Good for him. Good Ottawa boy. But I think we've upgraded the hometown crew with Claude Giroux coming home. But if they're looking for draft picks, to me, they're thinking that they're going to move draft picks in another deal. Do you think that could be a part of this big brain move? Because we used to clown on Pierre Dorion with the big brain, but honestly, this guy has just gone into full throttle, ready to pounce, to win, and to get his fan base all riled up.
I'm not necessarily sure, Ross, that if they do the Brown trade for draft picks, it's to use those to acquire more. I more think it's to clear more cap space. And where does Connor Brown fit now? Like, I know you could get him on that 3rd line, but then what? Matthew Joseph's going from a sample size of playing on the top line to the 4th line? I don't think that's necessary. And Joseph, you could get him at a really good price. He's a team-controlled guy, and as a 3rd-line winger, would be amazing to play up and down the lineup, and I would slot him on that second power play unit as well. So I just think it's a matter of Connor Brown has kind of been squeezed out here, and the fact that his next contract is going to be a big one. He's going to be looking for a payday, well-deserved, and there's teams that are looking for Connor Brown-type guys, and the Ottawa Senators, they're no longer able to fit him into their long-term plans, which is a damn shame because I love Connor Brown. And when Nick Paul left, I was like, sign Connor Brown to a long-term deal yesterday because they need to keep someone who can play on the penalty kill, someone with kind of some veteran, at least they're young guys, Paul and Brown, but in the eyes of the Ottawa Senators, they were veterans and people that have gone through the grinds of seasons and can also chip in an offense. But I think that 3rd line spot is so perfectly wrapped for Joseph now. I'm interested in the Puljujarvi thing, but I would just rather keep Connor Brown if it was a 1-for-1 situation and then move on from that. But I think you have no more space in this forward core. Like this core up front is so good. Connor Brown's just getting squeezed out here. And if you would have told me Connor Brown's leaving before Giroux signed, I would have been pissed. But Giroux's here. I can accept Connor Brown being the odd man out. It's unfortunate, but
it is too bad because he was a battler through a really tough time in the organization. He was here for the worst of the worst.
And he gave a damn. Like, he wasn't just out there. He played with a broken jaw. Like, this guy, his hands were absolutely crippled throughout the season, and he still grinded in meaningless games. So, I mean, nothing's done, but if Connor Brown does end up moving on, he's got nothing but respect from me, and I think from almost every single Sens fan.
Yeah, I forget who it was. Someone tweeted at us today at Sens Central. They asked how many videos are we going to have this year, because there has been a lot of changeover. I think without a question, here's a good one though. Who gets the bigger video tribute, Nick Paul or Connor Brown?
You got to go Nick Paul. I mean, he was the longest serving Senator at that point. The up and down, what he's done, the work he's put in Belleville, his willingness.
Let's get that answer in the chat though too. I'm curious, who gets the better ovation in when they come back? I'll put up a poll. Actually, I can do that.
Yeah, I'm going Nick Paul. Yeah.
I'll probably join you with that, just based on the longevity there. Sorry, longer While I do this, take a hit on TSN reporting that the Johnny Gaudreau sweepstakes are down to the Devils and Islanders.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm pretty sure, is he from the New Jersey area?
He's from South Jersey, which is also close to Philly, but they just don't have the money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he's coming back east. I think that would fit for him. The Devils is interesting because I thought they were big on Fiala. They didn't get Fiala. The thing is, like, is Johnny Gaudreau thinking of going there, being like, I'm going to be the piece that's going to lift them, or it's just like, hey, I'm going close to home. I'm going to get a big contract, and eventually things are going to work out here. Whereas the Islanders, they play a very defensive type game. And for Johnny Gaudreau to be an effective hockey player, he needs to just be let loose. You got to let him loose. And I think Daryl, obviously the coach in Calgary is a very defensive guy, but he knows when to let those guys loose and when to let them play. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how that would work in Long Island. But Barry Trotz isn't there anymore. So maybe the new coach is going to have an opportunity. Lambert, I think, said it with a little bit of a French accent there, but Lambert, he's going to be able to open things up if Johnny Gaudreau comes in, and maybe him and Barzal can make some magic. So I like both destinations for Gaudreau here.
Yes, and while we're kind of taking a look around the league, the Detroit Red Wings are adding Andrew Kopp, and it looks like Ben Sherrod as well. We've had some great discussion both internally and on Twitter with our friends over at Locked On Red Wings. We'll have to have a meeting of the minds later this offseason, a little crossover edition. Because
those guys are awesome. Yeah.
And the rebuilds are kind of parallel, where you think the Sens are a little bit ahead. They had their first really high pick in 2018, but again, they also lost out on the 2019 pick, whereas Detroit's rebuild really started in 2019. But Andrew Kopp goes home. He's a Michigan guy. I interviewed Red Berenson talking about him, and then we didn't end up using it because he got traded before we put out. I did the Winnipeg Jets kind of wrote to the NHL videos for them this past year, but everyone just talked so highly of him, and then he did so well in New York. And I mean, Jets fans love that too, because by the Rangers reaching the third round of the playoffs, they got that first round pick that became Lambert, Pilsy? No. Nice little tie in there, though. It was the coach of the Islanders' nephew, Brad Lambert. Definitely. So funny enough, now he goes there. So Stevie Y, I mean, that's a 5-year contract. Looks like they're kind of getting serious about turning the page as well.
And you know what I really love about that Kopp signing, Ross, is who better for a guy like Marco Casper to learn from than Andrew Kopp? Like, don't you kind of see the similarities there? Like, guys that have high motors, they're going to work hard, they're going to be a coach's dream, and Kopp can really help mentor Casper. So I think that's just such a great move. And Stevie Y, he was eyeing down Kopp for sure, and he was just waiting to be able to pull that trigger.
We got someone in the chat as well, but do the Toronto Maple Leafs just want to BS or what, Pilsy?
Oh, they're going to rebuild Adam Gaudette. Love that.
You see that there? A 1-year deal worth $750,000. One of my favorite parts of trade deadline day is just watching the tickers. And I mean, this isn't a huge deal, so it's not going to be the same. But like when one tweet goes out, there's like 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. It's unbelievable. That's hilarious.
And
stuff.
Speaking of former Sens getting spots in Canada, stick taps to Curtis Lazar getting a 3-year deal with the Canucks. One way too, so I like that for Lazar. He's going to be he's a solid fourth line player now. I know that's not what
$1 million, and he's a BC boy. I think he's from near Vernon, BC, so he gets to go home.
Okanagan guy, yeah, exactly. So that's nice. Good for Curtis Lazar.
Let's continue on the.
It didn't work out for him, but he was a great guy. So I hope the best for him.
Yes, Bretsky, you scared me there. Confirmed Chikrin to Sens would be great. Would be. Now I like ran over to Twitter, like, let's go right away. This is the beauty, man. This is a live reaction show, just hanging out. But we will also say, we'll finish off with the roundabout with the Sens abroad. Josh Brown to the Arizona Coyotes on a 2-year contract.
Was not expecting that. Not gonna lie. What's the term?
I don't have
what are the details?
I don't have the details just yet, but right shot defenseman, bottom pair. Does that kind of put the final hole in the balloon of Nikita Zaitsev going to the desert?
No, I don't think so. You're worried Josh Brown is gonna end like the Coyotes are like, okay, we got our guy Josh Brown, shut her down, cut the phone lines, we're done.
Yeah, fair.
I hope their management doesn't think like that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Has the Burns deal been done? I'm actually listening and engaging in this chat, not on Twitter, so I can't be following along.
Well, I can tell you that our friend of the show, Ian Mendes, is going to join us for a couple minutes. He's a busy guy, but we're going to get some immediate reaction. We know that our friends here in the chat all love Ian, and so do we. So we're going to have Ian Mendes jumping on in a moment. And then a little bit later on, Aleem's Martian will jump in as well. So
we're going to hear from the streets. All right.
We're going to hear from the streets. We'll see what's going on down the streets. And then when it comes to Claude Giroux, I mean, maybe we'll wait if something else happens for the Ottawa Senators. But I want to reach out to some other Locked On hosts because it was great having Seth Tupal on with us yesterday to get the breakdown on Cam Talbot. Now we bring in the busiest guy in the nation's capital, Ian Mendes. Ian, what's going on, man?
Guys, you got me loud and clear here?
Yeah, 100%, man. What a day.
Looking good, sounding good.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Ian.
Yeah.
Do you have your Claude Giroux to Ottawa story filed before or after noon?
So I had to do a kind of just an instant analysis thing. And at about 10 a.m. today, I started to put that together. So it was about 99% ready to go. We just had to plug in the terms and a couple of other things. And we waited. I loved his interview. I don't know if you guys saw that with James Duthie, but it was it was fantastic. And I think you kind of end up, this is just a great day. Honestly, this fan base, you guys are wearing the right attire. I didn't get the
memo. My follow-up question was going to be, do you have a Hawaiian shirt close by?
No, not close by. And I think you would lose a lot of viewers if I changed on screen here. It'd be like, oh my God, we've just lost everybody. But
imagine he just rips off the cardigan and he's got one ready. That would be
that would be wild stuff. Jesus. So what Pilsy and I were really getting into here, and you're right, it is just a phenomenal day for Sens fans who have been through a lot. We were saying these are the type of doomsday days on the calendar for Sens fans, typically being the trade deadline and free agency, where you're either sitting on the sidelines or you're watching your former favorite players move on to another destination. But today, not having to wait, because remember with the Erik Karlsson trade deadline, ultimately he didn't get moved. And then with Mark Stone, it was with 2 minutes left until the buzzer. So to get this out of the way early was just such a sigh of relief. And what to you is the biggest attribute that Claude Giroux brings? Is it something on ice? Is it what he brings in intangibles? Is it what he brings for the French community in Ottawa as well? Or just the fact that they were able to entice a top free agent to come to play for their team?
You know what? And it's probably a little bit from all of those categories. But to me, the biggest thing in getting Claude Giroux is, like, look at what you guys are wearing today. Look at the chats. Look at these mentions. Look at Sen's Twitter today. That's the real value of Claude Giroux. He just reinvigorated this fan base in a way that, I don't know what else. Like, we could talk about marketing and, hey, let's make the parking cheaper and all this stuff. That there's nothing that can do what landing a top-end free agent can do. And really, in the history of this franchise, I guess Dominik Hasek, Gonchar to some extent, Kovalev.
Yeah.
But
Eric O'Dell.
Evgeny Dadonov, don't leave my guy out.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I see the note from Kyler here in the chat about selling out the home opener.
Oh,
and I feel like that's a slam dunk, right?
For sure.
Like, I think they play against Boston in the home opener. It's like a Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, yeah. Come on.
5-game homestand though.
Yeah.
We'll make the trip. I don't know if it's going to be exactly that game, but we're going to make the trip for that homestand for sure.
But do you not feel like this is real enthusiasm? This isn't fake. This isn't I kind of hope everything works out. And to me, that's the value of Claude Giroux.
It's unbelievable. Now, sorry, go ahead, Pils.
And like you mentioned, the energy is real, Ian, and it's not just the same kind of usual diehard Sens fans. Like, the casual fans now have a reason to latch on. They don't have to be like, well, there's no one I'm really interested in. Oh, we lost Ian there.
Did we? Oh, he's still with us. He's just on audio, I think.
Oh, okay.
Busiest guy in nation's capital.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all. He's probably changing into his Hawaiian shirt, actually. So
yes.
That's a good move, Ian. But what I was saying is those casual fans now have legitimate reasons to latch on. You have a respected hometown guy in Giroux coming back. You have one of the best goal scorers in the entire league added to this team. You have two goalies that give you a chance to win night in, night out. You have the best looking jerseys in the entire league. Why wouldn't you go to an Ottawa Senators game now? So those fans that, maybe they're not big hockey fans, but they like to be a part of something in the community, they're going to be coming out in droves now because they're going to have reasons to tune in on a nightly basis rather than just be like, I'll wait for the Sens to be good. The Sens are going to be good and they're going to be entertaining.
Yeah. Hey, listen, sorry guys. You know what? For whatever reason, and I mean, I'm hoping it's allergies. Just had a massive allergy attack there. Where I love my favorite one is Curified. Look, Ian's stoned AF. No, I'm
pass the blood.
Yeah, no, that's not the case. But yeah, what a great day to be an Ottawa fan. And if you do one of these kind of fill in the blank deals, like this is my happiest day or this is my happiest week as a Sens fan since, I really don't know what the answer is. I guess signing Brady Tkachuk. We sometimes forget how great that was.
Yeah.
It was on the day of the home opener.
Yeah, it was epic. That's fair.
He comes out second period.
But that was those were like short-term highs. This is something that I feel like it's not just a quick buzz and we're like, okay, let's latch onto this and be obsessed about it for 24 hours. This is going to ride into an entire off season. That Sens vibes are going to be off the charts. Sens fans are going to be feeling good. The players, imagine Brady Tkachuk and Thomas Chabot being like, we went to management at the end of the year and we expected some change. We expected things to look different. And they finally backed it up. I feel like Sens management, they kind of had to play the PR stunt. Yeah, we're working towards things, whatever. It was enough of that. They finally put their words into actions and into actions that those two guys can be like, you listened and you heard us and you responded and we're ready and we're happy to be locked in long-term here now.
Yeah. And I think too, when you look at this, I think everything Ottawa said before, and Pierre Dorion has been put in some unfair spots, right? When this thing was at the depths of its rebuild, this guy got trotted out to press conferences, and it was always like he was trying to tell, hey, the rebuild is over, or this is my proudest day as general manager, or whatever you want to pick.
There's a lot of hyperboles, yeah.
A lot of hyperbole, a lot of kind of trying to convince you with words. He just convinced us with actions, right? I don't know if, and you guys can help me out, the viewers and listeners can help us out here too. Has there been a general manager or a hockey person that's had such a change in perception in such a short period of time as Pierre Dorion in the summer of 2022? Let's ask that question to the audience.
Yeah, I'm excited, and maybe if you're saying nobody, who's even close?
Yeah,
he was the laughing stock of the National Hockey League, and now everyone's talking about this top six being among the best in the Eastern Conference.
I feel like I see other fan bases LOL, Ottawa playoffs. You guys are dreaming. I don't think you're dreaming. No. I think, and especially when these final pieces come through, this Connor Brown to Edmonton thing seems like it's going to happen, and I'm okay
for picks.
Yeah, but I would imagine that those picks are then flipped out to get a defenseman, right? And if that's what happens, then I think most people would be okay with that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So if that all happens, and in the offseason, Pierre Dorion stabilized the goaltending, he added a top 4D, he shed some unwanted contracts, and he added DeBrincat and Giroux. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And I mean, offense wasn't always the problem last year. So there is still a little bit of, what are you going to do about the decor? And adding Jake Sanderson's obviously nice, but you'd rather not have so much pressure on him to come in and play 22 minutes, especially off this long-term injury that's kept him off for the last little while since the Olympics. That, I know he re-injured it, but that is a long time to miss. But going back to Giroux, and I know you got a lot to do, Ian, so we're not going to keep you too much longer. But one interesting conversation here is Sens' first power play unit was so good last year, and now you have Alex DeBrincat and Claude Giroux somewhere in the mix, and we know that you have a 2-time 40-goal scorer. He should be the focal point of the first power play unit. But how would you enter training camp with your two units? Would you keep one together, or are you trying to play in with the talent that you've acquired?
Boy, it's a great. DJ Smith said at the draft, and this was when they only had DeBrincat, not Giroux. Great problem to have, right? Like,
Yep.
I think we all like that top power play unit with Stützle, Shabbat, Batherson, Norris, Kachuk. You know, Norris is a left-hand shooter who likes to operate off of the right circle.
Yep.
I think DeBrincat is a right shot who likes to operate off the left circle. That seems like it's okay. Like, I feel like they can coexist, I think. But to me, this is going to be fascinating because two legitimate top six guys are going to be on the outside looking in of the first unit.
No more Adam Gaudette.
But I also kind of, what's that?
No more Adam Gaudette on the power
He's
play.
going to Toronto now, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think on a one-year deal.
Yeah.
I feel like you could probably, just like the goaltending situation, make a compelling case for a 1 and a 1A here.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. Like this team was 26th in goals last year. Like, let's go. Let's have two power play units that can click. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Ian, we were chatting when we met you at the game. What are the Sens going to do with this second power play unit? And now it looks like it's an option. And that's what I mentioned earlier. I really see a spot where DeBrincat and Norris can coexist because everyone knew that Norris one-timer was being set up. And they didn't care that people knew they were going to set it up anyways. Now you can try to set up that Norris one-timer, but if it's getting covered or they're onto it, you open up so much space for Alex DeBrincat, who is arguably one of the best releases in the NHL and doesn't need to just rely on that one-timer. So I think I'm almost still on the idea of keep that first power play loaded up, but at least now you've got like the second power play unit isn't just a liability and it's just a matter of fact, well, the first unit's tired. It can still bring some oomph. But if you can get two shooters like Norris and DeBrincat on that top unit, teams they're going to have a really hard time.
I got to tell you, the amount of people, including our boy Lalim's Martian there.
Yes. Oh, yeah, he's
jumping
coming
in
soon.
The amount of people saying, I'm either drinking vodka soda or
Mendes, drunk AF.
High on life. Are you not high on life? Like, this is a great day. Honestly, this is just a great day.
Yeah, I agree. It's amazing.
Yeah. It certainly is.
Listen, Ian, I do have to run because I got to do another hit here in about 5 minutes, and then potentially chase something down, and then I think I got to head down, and hopefully they're going to do a press conference down at Canadian Tire Center here this afternoon. So
awesome. Can I ask you one quick one on the way out? Because you broke the trade yesterday. Well, you had we think it's this piece, we think it's this piece.
Oh, Phil Gustafson,
with Gustafson. Just your quick thoughts on what Cam Talbot brings.
I like the deal because you have Mads Søgaard there. If you didn't have Mads Søgaard, I'd be a little more reluctant to maybe move a 24-year-old goaltender. And I like Philip Gustafson. I think he's a legitimate NHL goalie down the road. I don't know if he's a legitimate number one guy, but I think he's an NHL goalie. But that to me signaled, and it's funny because at some point Pierre Dorion said, we're going to trade prospects for immediate help. None of us really thought of that being a goaltender, did we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wasn't ready for it. No.
I was like, whoa, mind blown, but it makes sense. You're trading a young prospect for 1 year of Cam Talbot. Talbot won 32 games last year. I know some of his underlying numbers weren't great. Like, I know goals saved above expected he was out of the goalies that started 40 games, I think he was 28th out of 30, whatever it was. Like, I get that. But he's a stable guy. And he's not the guy that played 70 games for Edmonton in 2017 or 60 games. But let's go. Like, give me four. I put this in my piece in The Athletic. When Ottawa has had a goalie tandem that they've each played 35 games, they've made the playoffs every year.
Yep.
And I mean, I think if they play 35 games each, I think there's a very good chance that this team could be playoff bound. So I like the trade. I thought it was a fair trade, especially in light of dealing Matt Murray. And you were going to pay Matt Murray $7 million in real cash next season.
Wild to think about now.
See, look at that pun with the Minnesota. Wild to think about that.
Didn't even do that on purpose. Oh,
but think about this. You're paying 7.1 now you get Forsberg, you get Talbot, and you eat a little bit of Murray. Pretty good.
Yeah, very good. And
Have a summer, Pierre Dorion.
No doubt. And have a summer, Ian Mendes. We always love the mailbags. Always love how you interact with the readers and the listeners, and you can see that with all the goats in the chat.
I was going to say I've never seen so many goat emojis.
Yeah,
well deserved
in the community. So
grab these. Send it to my parents. See, people do like me.
That's awesome. You're the man, Ian. We'll do this again later on. Appreciate it. We can't wait to read all your breakdown of this and what could be next for Pierre Dorion. Thanks again, Ian.
Awesome. Thanks again for having me, guys, and I'm sure we'll chat soon.
Next time, a Hawaiian shirt, all right?
You got it.
We'll keep you to it. All right, that's Ian Mendes, writer with The Athletic.
Oh,
absolute beauty. Great to have him on. Martian's in the chat. Tell him I sent him the link so you can hop on anytime.
Wait, can we need to get Martian actually in the streets? Like, I don't want him at his desk. I want him in the streets. Like, I want to feel these streets.
100%. I'm going to put that in our chat.
And the Locked On Senators, we now go down to our street reporter reporting live from whatever street it is in Ottawa. I forget right now. Lillian's
King Edward. King Edward. We're not the long streets. We're not doxing him or anything. But yes, Bretsky. While we wait for Lalim's Martian, Cam Talbot, what are we thinking for his gear this upcoming season? Because he's had the Ghostbusters on his mask in the past. Like, this guy's got some style. We got some Play-Doh to work with here when it comes to Cam Talbot.
I haven't even got to that point of thinking. Yeah. Well, what's Forsberg's?
He's got the horny dog.
Do you have that handy? Yeah, because I'd like to see that compared. It'll be interesting to see what
I have Forsberg's gear, but it's on Brady Tkachuk.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, perfect model, Brady Tkachuk. Yeah, so I'd like to see with Talbot go a little more. I like the black, like have sharp black, dark looking, and just like clean, like, and then mix in obviously some gold and a splash of red. I can't wait to see what design. Now that Matt Murray's gone, we finally have no boring goalie designs here. So I'm fired up about this.
No doubt. I'm not fired up about this. What's up with our boy at Lalim's Martian coming to us from the apartment? Why aren't you on the streets right now?
I want to feel the streets.
The streets come to me, boys. The streets come to
me. What's up, buddy? Claude Giroux's an Ottawa Senator.
Hell yeah, boys. Feels good. As expected.
You like the breakdown?
Yeah, Martian's already gone through the whole range of emotions. He's like, I knew about this days ago.
Yo, can we talk about a division rival for a second? Because I don't know, man. Tampa, I know you guys have had some success, but they just gave Anthony Cirelli, Mikhail Sergachev, and Eric Chernak all 8-year contracts.
I just saw that. That's crazy.
You know what this
8 years for all
of?
three, and that's Nick Paul's got a 7-year on it as well.
It's the Chicago dynasty where they won some cups, and the general manager's like, I friggin' love you guys. Like 8-year, 7-year deal. I'll worry about this when I'm fired.
Yeah. That's wild. Sergachev, $8.5 million AAV, $6.25 for Cirelli. I actually love that contract for him as well. But this one's crazy. Chernak, nice defenseman, but $5.2 million AAV for the next 8 seasons. He's a big, rugged defenseman. Those are the type where their bodies kind of break down at the end. I know he's 26 years old right now, but all right, good luck. Good luck with that.
Yeah, I think they just want to hang on to their guys who have gotten them there, you know?
Yeah.
Keep that big group together, and they're at the point where those guys have earned those contracts. They have to pay them, right? So
GM with a nice little note though on Twitter, and this ties right in. Jan Ruta, could he become an option for the Ottawa Senators? I like the way he kind of held down the fort in the top 4. He wouldn't be as splashy of an acquisition as a Mackenzie Weegar, a Jacob Chikrin, but he would certainly fit the bill, I think, as a guy who can be a sick player.
But they don't even need to splash that much. They just need to improve on Nikita Zaitsev for Thomas Chabot. Like, the bar is low.
The bar is underneath the ground.
Yeah.
It's in ancient Roman ruins. It's way under. They build up.
Yeah.
Yeah, a nice steady Eddie top 4 D-man will do the trick. Just give me a clone of Zub and we're laughing.
Honestly, yeah, for real. Martian, did you see Josh Brown heading to Arizona Coyotes? Your boy.
Did see that. Good for him. Super happy for him. He deserves it.
Top 4 there, eh? He might be top pair.
Yeah, he'll be able to fly right under the radar with them, I think, too. So that's
You're
good
gonna
for
hear
him.
his hits pretty
Oh
heavy in
yeah,
a
at
college
ASU.
ring.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's small
Dude,
barn.
this is all
Big boy.
adding up. This is all adding up to us going to Scottsdale in early
No,
January.
we are going to Scottsdale. Like I've got that marked down.
It's January 12th.
Yeah, we're not.
I wouldn't
missing an
mind leaving
opportunity
Winnipeg
to
for a
see
couple
the
days
Sens
in
play in
January.
a college barn in the desert, like at a party school like ASU. We're bringing the shirts and we're going to the game.
All right, sign me up. I'm not going to wear my sweatpants like I'm wearing underneath here, but we'll absolutely make that happen in Scottsdale. We also, what do we have here? Sens Central new poll, Ross or Brandon's shirt for the Sens third jersey. Which one are you picking?
Oh, I should have. I almost want to change now. Just put something on that's loud so I can match
Dude,
it.
All right, come
Get
back.
loud.
Yo, put on something loud. Can you
want me to
join
do
from
it?
the streets?
All right,
Can
I'm
you
going
join from
loud.
the streets for a minute?
Pardon?
Just join from the streets for a minute.
Get loud and get in the streets.
Get loud and get in the streets.
What do you mean get in the streets?
What
gonna
do
give
you
away
mean?
your
What do
ad-
you mean?
I'm going to give
Put
away your
yourself
address.
outside on the sidewalk.
Give me a
Then
second,
come back.
guys. Give me
All
a
right,
second.
He'll be back. All right. We'll bring him back in when we see him come back. The vibes are immaculate. Claude Giroux
man.
is a member of the Ottawa Senators. If you missed it, Ian Mendes was just with us. Great insight
The GOAT.
from a respectable journalist here as you and I.
A professional.
Brett Wallace, and we won't be able to get Wally on. I know he's got his show to prepare for here coming up in a couple hours, but Brent Wallace just tweeting out that Claude Giroux has the fourth most points in the league since 2010-2011. So this type of player you're getting. Let's play a little trivia, Pilsy. Trivia time. Which four players in the National Hockey League have more points than Claude Giroux since the beginning of the 2010-2011 season?
No, McDavid's not there. McDavid's
No.
Crosby,
Yes.
Ovechkin.
Yes. You have 2 and 3 right now.
Jeez, how am I missing one? People are probably screaming. Oh, Vander Kane. I looked at the chat for that one. Oh, or Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane.
Jesus Christ.
Vander Kane just signed his deal. That's why I got him on there. Yeah, I'm going Patrick Kane.
Yes. I mean, Sidney Crosby's played 130 last games. So
Damn.
fair enough. Josh writes in on Twitter at Sens Central. Again, you can either ask us questions in the chat or on Twitter at Sens Central. Is Claude Giroux the biggest free agent signing in Senators history? I'm pretty sure that it's one of two options.
It's here.
It's one of two options. It's Claude Giroux or it's Dominic Hasek.
Yeah, good.
Martian.
That's where I was hoping you were going.
look
Yes,
beautiful.
there it is.
Still not in the streets, though.
It's okay. We can only ask so much from him. He's tired from playing his round of golf. Give the guy a break.
Had a great round this morning, by the way.
Did you?
Congrats. I mean, makes sense on a day like today. You're not going to go out there and play badly in Ottawa.
Yeah, the
Yep.
vibes were good right from the moment I woke up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. What was the drink of choice at the course today?
Coffee.
I was gonna say, yeah, he looks like he's in a
Being on,
water
like,
coffee mood.
I might
7 a.m.
actually get another coffee into me too. My shift today is 4:30 to 12:30 a.m. So I'm gonna be absolutely buzzing. But I'm gonna carry this vibe all the way through that because this is just a beautiful day in Ottawa Senators history. What's your answer to that? I'm gonna go grab a coffee. I left Martian. I had to go get a glass of water. I left him by himself yesterday. So at least Pilsy, he's got someone to
I
bounce
needed
off
you.
of.
Yeah,
You got someone to bounce off of.
Welcome to my life, Martian.
I
Welcome
like
to my life.
I like it when somebody's here with me. I don't like being alone.
Yeah,
It's
What?
not a very nice feeling.
yeah. I'm
What's
here
a
for you, man.
What's a Drager tweet?
Huh?
Oh, what? So the Kings didn't qualify Brendan Lemieux, but then just re-signed him.
Was the offer under the qualifier?
Maybe. It must have been because it's a 1-year deal, 1.35. I wish he had come to like Montreal. Would have been just a perfect place for
that's
Brendan
Brady
Lemieux.
would have pounded that kid.
Give me him.
That
Him
would've been
him and Gallagher on the same line.
Oh my god!
What a-
Yeah, I mean
oh.
on the fourth line.
You know
makes
we
sense.
like we like naming lines. How about the waste of space line with those two?
No kidding. What was the question that Ross left us with there? Before
I don't even remember. That seems so long ago. I've been just focused on the chat here, so I have not been following along with all the signings here. But has the Burns deal gone through yet, or are we still waiting on that?
It went through. Yeah.
It went through. Let's hear
It happened. Yeah, he's going
Report
to
it from
Carolina.
the streets.
It's true. No, it's confirmed not per the streets, per LeBron and Elliott.
Yeah, per the office. What's going back? What's happening here? I was not expecting him to go to Carolina. That is an interesting move.
Yeah, it was like Stephen Lorentz, and I think there was a prospect. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember exactly what went back the other way, but it seemed like a lot of young guys went back the other way. Here's another one though. Pilsy, did you guys talk about Curtis Lazar going to?
Yeah, I shouted him out. I love that. He's a good fourth line guy. He's from BC. He's gonna play well for them. So it's big stick taps to Curtis Lazar.
Yeah, that's nice to see for him. The burger eater.
Yeah, exactly. He always had a smile, so you had to respect him for that. Marsha, what's been your biggest shock signing of the day? Is it any of the three names that we talked about with Tampa Bay? Were those contracts your biggest shocks, or what's the biggest surprise for you today?
I don't know. I haven't really thought too much about that. I think, that Sergachev one is a monster deal, right?
Yeah.
I think that was, I didn't really see that one coming. I don't know who did, but I guess that one, the Sergachev one is just a huge deal, right? 8.5 times 8. That's a nice young defenseman, but holy, that's
making more than Shabbat. Put that into perspective. What do you think of Whitey going to Florida?
Love that one too.
For him, eh? That works out great for everyone.
Yeah, he can be perfect little third line center for them, and I think he'll thrive down there. He's gonna love that weather, eh? That Whitey.
Yeah, he's gonna be a rat rink.
Martian, you do that trade 10 out of 10 times though, eh? Claude Giroux 1-for-1 for Colin White.
Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure.
Oh man, that's awesome. What an absolute great day. What else? What's coming across the wire here? I haven't been on TSN. I moved out into the living room here so that I can have TSN on in the background, because obviously it's the one-stop shop for everything you need. Okay, Drager, this is the tweet that must have been referenced. Picks in return. We knew that. So you know what? Credit. Let's see the other option for Bobby Margarita. Other option I would suppose would be to get a third team involved so that Edmonton could move out a body or contract or two, get Brown in the fold, and Ottawa would end up with draft picks, potentially. In any case, we wait. And we also just have to say thank you, because the numbers of subscribers have just been skyrocketing throughout the last 2 days as we've been doing these live streams. I want to go out there and say, be a friend, tell a friend. And let's try to do this live stream until we hit 3,000 subscribers. We're a little ways away. It seems crazy.
Yeah, what are we sitting
121. But yesterday alone, we got 98. So let's try to get to 3,000 subscribers. So if you have a Sens fan in your life, you're watching this right now, we appreciate you first and foremost. But it'd be awesome if you guys wanted to get a few more eyeballs over. Because, we've heard it for years, but we heard it earlier today. Like TSN and Nicholas here, great buddy. I loved your tweet yesterday with the whiskey, Nick. And he mentioned that they're spending their first 10, 15 minutes talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like we are your one-stop shop for not only Ottawa content when they make moves, but we're analyzing all these other trades from an Ottawa perspective. So I know that when I was younger, this is the kind of thing I was looking for. So be a friend, tell a friend. And we appreciate everyone.
Young Ross would subscribe to the Locked On Senators podcast. Of that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you want to know my first? You want to know my first?
The comments.
You know what my first Sens account was called? It's probably still available. Let's see what my last tweet was.
Oh boy.
Hey, Drager just tweeted out that the Connor Brown trade is getting closer, and that it looks like the Sens are going to get some picks in return, which is great, I think, because they can probably turn those picks. They could just turn them around and include them in a package for a top 4D. So keep your eyes on that one, boys. But looks like Connor Brown's on the way out, which is
it's sad.
I love Connor Brown. I love watching Connor Brown play. He's a fun player. He always plays hard, and he plays the right way, and all those different things that he does. And good leader in the room too. I think good guy. The guys like him, and I don't know. It's tough to watch him go, but I mean, it's bittersweet because there's the sweet part is very sweet with Giroux coming back. And,
you know what I'm sad about is we won't get to a point where we can properly use the downtown Connor Brown when they move the arena to Ottawa, because that needed to happen, but probably not gonna.
Okay, guys, I think while we wait for that, I've just been scrolling through to make sure that I wasn't completely egregious. I'm going to pull up my original. So this is the Ross Levitan that would have subscribed to Locked On Senators. The last tweet from this account was 7 years ago.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
The Twitter, I don't even follow it. I mean, it's not very
You're tweeting about Tom Pyatt.
How are we feeling about the name? At Shabbat Shalom.
Nice.
I like that.
Not bad, eh? Giving my dad's company a little bit of a plug here, the last retweet. How's this? The second last one, views from the 6-5. That's probably a Craig Medaglia classic right there.
Definitely is.
We're winning the Norris. So
doing
that's
the
great.
Drake sitting on the CN Tower. Love it.
Yeah. I don't know what the heck I was doing here because these guys never played together. Silverberg Spezza Hosta, was that like my all-time favorite Sens line? Like,
Ross, we would have done an hour episode on what you just did there.
Shane Prince, Matt Cullen, and Eric Cody Bass. That's awesome. He was actually, retweeting a Scott Gomez interview with the Sens.
What a time, Scott Gomez with the Sens.
I saw
when you learn a new word.
I used to work in the airport, and I saw Scott Gomez land because he landed I used to work the night shift, and he landed super late at night. So I knew he was coming into town around then. The streets were buzzing even.
Yeah, I was gonna say Martian was always in the streets with the ear on the ground. Holy.
So I was working there, and I saw that the Sens had a guy down in the arrivals area, kind of waiting for him out of the U.S. Exit there. So I was hanging around there, kind of trying to catch a glimpse of him, and I managed to. I said hi and stuff. It was pretty funny, but Gomer, he was the man.
Awesome. We got to get him on the show eventually. Wow.
Yes. The last thing I want to pull up and then we'll move on is check this out. This is from the Blue Jays playoff run. Look at this towel swirl by Mark Stone. Look at the flick of the wrist. This is JG Pass show. Put this out there. Rocking the Troy Tulowitzki. Let's see if I can stop it at the perfect time. And now, that look at the end was all time there.
Oh boy.
Oh, is this me? Oh, sorry. Oh, that was the Sportsnet broadcast music for Blue Jays. So hopefully we don't get Mathieu. Is that right? There were 69 tweets from that account. So clearly I gotta
time to shut it down.
Number.
Yep.
So what are we expecting for Connor Brown? Like, what would be a reasonable return when you're looking at moving a guy who only has 1 year left in his contract? It's $3.6 million AAV. He can be that top 6, top 9 tweener. Like, what are you expecting if it is Edmonton, Pills?
Well, let's start this exercise with trying to think of some comparables and some trades that have happened recently that we can try to build off of. I'm kind of struggling to think of a Connor Brown type that was moved recently. Like, who would come to mind for you guys?
I have no idea where to even start with this.
Yeah, because I'm trying to find where do we set the bar for the value? Because it's so interesting where Connor Brown's at, because I wonder what other teams value him as. Because obviously, Sens fans, we have a high value of him. But where do other teams see him fitting in the mix, and where do they see his game going? I think that's where it really is important when you're starting to look at what are teams going to be willing to give up, and what do they think his next contract could be like.
Yeah, and I think you got to look at too who they're going to be trading with, right? And the all signs pointing to Edmonton. Edmonton doesn't give a hell about their picks, so
they're in win now mode. Yeah, agreed.
And I don't think they're going to get a first for Connor Brown. I'd be surprised if that was the case. So if I had to guess right now, just based off Dreger's tweets and that, I would say probably a second for sure, and probably like a third or a fourth as well. I think that would probably do it.
And just to prove that it's not only the Senators that are obsessed with reuniting former teammates, look at this from their junior days. Connor McDavid and Connor Brown playing together with the Erie Otters. I think I'll be disappointed if it's not a second and a third. I
was thinking second and a third. Yep.
Yeah. Second and a third or 2 seconds. And Bretsky also points out it's a reunion between two Leafs cast-offs between Zach Hyman and Connor Brown. The Oilers have a ton of former Leafs. Cody Ceci, Tyson Barrie, two more right off the top of my head. There's a ton of
Jack
interconnection. Jack Campbell. There you go. Another one.
Yeah.
If this deal does go down, I'm going to try to get Brett Holden on the show. This guy's an electric factory. Over at
Locked On Oilers. He is very interesting.
Have you seen any of his videos, Martian?
No, is he enthusiastic?
He is an electric factory. So hopefully, if a trade gets done, we'll be able to make that happen. I'll shoot him a DM and ask there, and we can get him waxing poetically about Cody Ceci. I'm sure everyone in the chat will want to hear that. But hey, this has been a busy day. And while we're on the Sens abroad, Vlad Namestnikov going to the Tampa Bay Lightning on a 1-year, $2.5 million ticket. Should we do our little reset for anyone who's just joining us? Because Claude Giroux, obviously, the enormously big story of today.
And we're at an hour in. It's a good time to do a radio reset here, Ross, as I'm sure you've done.
Yeah, so cue the out music. I guess my Blue Jays music was kind of the out music. But you are listening to the Free Agent Frenzy live stream of the Locked On Senators postcast, pretty much, because we got the postcast crew. I'm Ross Levitan. You can follow me on Twitter at Ross Levitan. The show is at Sens Central. Brandon Piller is here at Brandon Piller 1 and at Laleem's Martian. The streets are buzzing. The streets haven't been wrong yet. So if you hate the streets, get off them. Stay inside, because the streets are going to be full of enthusiasm here all summer long in Ottawa. If you had been on the streets, Martian, I would have told you to map out the parade route. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet when it comes to the Ottawa Senators and what could be next for them today, where Connor Brown looks likely, what's already happened at 12:01, because I'm sure that the Sens and the agent for Claude Giroux took everything seriously, did not touch base until noon. But Claude Giroux is a member of the Ottawa Senators. The contract is 3 years long, 6.5 annual average value, $7 million in year one, $7 million in year two, and then down to $5 million in year three. That is $17 million, Pilsy. Am I right on that one? No.
No, that's not right. I think it's 19 and a half total.
I know. Right, I was like half unsure of what it was, but I wanted to remind everyone that we are not math guys on the Locked On Senators podcast. Martian, your thoughts on your thoughts on
swing and a miss. Good try though.
So
my thoughts
7
on
plus 7 is 14 plus 5. Jesus. No, this is awesome. And I love that we're getting the opportunity here to do a free agent frenzy. And we'll be I would say we're going to go another hour, eh? Another hour.
You're going to go a whole other hour?
Well, I have a feeling we're going to get at least one more piece of Sens news and maybe two.
Well, let's not put any deadlines. It's just vibes. It's vibes. We'll go with the vibes.
Yep, all vibes. I like the sound of that. Okay, let's put it from this angle. I know you said the projeculation can only happen for so long, but where do you think Claude Giroux fits on opening night?
Martian.
Well, so I guess it depends on who you think the top line is, but he's on one of the top two lines. I think that they're kind of 1A, 1B lines right now, right? You got the Brinkat, Stützle, and I'm assuming Giroux is going to be that line, so that's where I see him fitting. And whether that's considered line 1 or line 2, I don't really care. Giroux is definitely going to be on one of the power plays, again, up in the air, because you don't really know which power play DJ's going to decide to put him on, right? Because, I mean, they're jam-packed with studs right now who can play in the power play. So I imagine Giroux will probably be a PP 1 or 2 guy for sure. But yeah, he's going to get tons of ice time, tons of opportunity to play with those young skill guys, like he talked about in his in his quick hit with TSN, where he discussed, the excitement of coming to Ottawa to play with these young players. So yeah, top 2 line guy for sure. Pilsy.
Yeah. I got him in pen with Stützle and DeBrincat. I just think it makes so much sense. Put Batherson back on that top line. Let those 3 kids cook. They were so good. They have such good chemistry together. And Giroux being able to have a great amount of success in the faceoff dot just lifts so much pressure off Tim Stützle when it comes to the dot. And I'm hoping, I don't want this to be kind of I don't want Giroux to be expected to take every single faceoff for Stützle, but I want him to help Stützle grow. I want him to not make Timmy feel like, oh man, I got to win this faceoff in the O zone. We're down by 1, goalie pulled. that's when you can have Giroux step in and then help him after practice. Be with him, Josh Norris, Shane Pinto, Mark Kastelik. Be with those guys, showing them the tricks of the trade and how to prepare and how to work on that face-off game, because they're all so young. Shane Pinto, epic face-off man in college, but he struggled in the NHL. He needs guidance. It's a whole different game now, and you're going to have that with Giroux now. Like, if Giroux can get Pinto to where he was in college, oh boy, look out. And you guys know I'm the face-off guy, so I'm very excited to have a veteran, successful face-off artist in the mix.
I love the way you broke that down, Pilsy. You broke that down so nicely.
Smooth.
That's what I'm here for, boys.
The streets are buzzing, and so are you, buddy.
Oh, you absolutely love it. Shane Pinto's kind of an interesting guy here, because I certainly think that he's right up there with Timmy as a guy who's going to learn the most from Claude Giroux. I want to see what the exact number is, but if you guys had to guess, over the last 10 years, let's say from 2010, the same time period where Claude Giroux is 4th in the National Hockey League in scoring, where do you think he ranks in terms of face-off percentage?
Is he? I mean, he's going to be.
Wait,
I
think
he's going to be.
What's that?
He'll be a top 15 guy in face-off percentage over the last 10 years.
Way up.
Yeah, because he's at a 55.8 for his career, which is pretty damn good.
Let's say minimum 500 face-offs, because, I mean, the sample size.
He's done 17,000 in his career.
Does he have 17,000?
I didn't do the exact math, but it was something.
Even that's a low number. We're going to do 1,000.
500 is low.
1,000 seems like a fair. Or why don't we do game? No, this is good enough.
Yeah.
What do we got here? 1,000 face-offs. No, I'm still getting guys like Manny Malhotra and David Steckel who played 191 games. So, you know what? What did you say he has? So, why don't we do 10,000?
I'm on his hockey reference right now, and he has 9,563 face-off wins, 7,575 face-off losses. So I just rounded up and
I tried to sort it by 10,000 games played instead of face-offs.
Oh boy.
Okay, here. This is a proper list. This is a proper list. 10,000 face-offs. 1, Patrice Bergeron. 2, Jonathan Taves. 3, Antoine Vermette.
Ooh.
4, Ryan O'Reilly. 5, Claude Giroux.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
That is music to my ears.
Jason Spetz is 9th on this list. Matt Duchene's 11th.
Can't wait for the first postcast where you can talk about Giroux's face-off percentage.
Buddy, just wait. I don't have to gloss or
you don't have to pump it up
over Dylan Gambrell. Yeah, I got some other options here.
Well, I mean, Gambrell, like, how many do you guys think he gets into more than 40 games next year?
I don't. I think DJ loves
injuries happen, and DJ loves him, so I wouldn't be shocked. But 40's a good over/under spot.
I just went crazy for half a second because, sometimes the Sens communication, they're good at just releasing it themselves. I could have used this 10 minutes ago, though, because they say news release, it's official. And I'm like, oh, what? The Sens have signed forward Claude Giroux to a 3-year, $19.5 million contract. That's the part I could have used 10 minutes ago.
Fair. All right, I'm gonna pull a Ross and hop out for a second here, but I'll be right back, boys.
All right, sounds good. So Martian, let's go around the league. What do you think the biggest signing is so far that's going to make the biggest difference? Like, I guess a few of the big ones, you can even mention the re-signings that happened in Tampa Bay. Like, I kind of feel like the Claude Giroux one is kind of the top dog right now.
Sorry, I had myself on mute there. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that it's the summer of Pierre, and the league is taking notice. We're taking over SportsCenter. That now I know what it feels like to kind of be a Leafs fan. They're always talking about the Sens all of a sudden.
How good was Cheryl Pounder's initial breakdown of what Ottawa's done so far that already makes it?
You know what? I missed that. I was walking the dog, so I wasn't listening to the TSN.
You're in the streets. That's fair.
I was on the streets walking the old boy, but that, and I would say that, I mean, the Brent Burns trade is super interesting, right? Because he could do wonders for Carolina. That's a big dog coming in for them. So I'd say probably it's between the Giroux pickup and the Burns trade, I think, for me right now, big news wise.
Yo, should we get Parley in the mix?
If Parley's not,
He's in the chat.
Oh, Parley, get in here.
Is
I
he
was
one
going
of
to
your
say, if he's
original
not
boys?
working, let's do
Yeah,
it.
he's one of the OG guys, and he is the biggest DeBrincat fan you're ever gonna meet. So
Yeah.
I'm fired up.
But he was also a pretty big Fiala fan, if I remember
yeah,
correctly.
he has always loved him. Parley, I'm sending the link to your email. So I don't know if you use your email anymore, but we got to get you in the mix here. Last time your audio sucked though, so figure it out.
Fair.
I mean, it's half the battle. We know he looks pretty either way, but we got to get him.
He's a good-looking kid.
In the mix here. Like the last time we spoke to Parley, the team was actually good.
I think he hopped on for a postcast.
He did.
Yeah,
that's when his audio was brutal.
The audio was off. Yeah. He's got his Yeti. He bought all our Yetis, so I know he has the microphone for good audio quality.
I'm gonna put the link to the live right now.
Under how many times Ross mistakenly calls me Parley and vice versa. I'm gonna set it at 3.5.
Can you help me out though, Martian? Like that's not easy. Parley and Pilsy going back and forth like that all the time.
No, that's not easy. That's not easy at all. You call me Pilsy sometimes just by default, just by muscle memory of your mouth.
That's fair.
Muscle memory of my mouth. That's amazing, man. Oh, you guys think that Darcy Kemper's the answer in Washington? I think Washington's they're a team that could be on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I don't think it's the answer. I think they're trying to keep pushing while Ovechkin is here, but I don't see that team getting past the second round of the East. No way.
Oh, dude, while we wait for Parley to join us, Tim, agree or disagree? This team is more talented than the 2017.
Way more talented. Yeah, way more talented. Because that 2017 team, that was a team where it was, oh boy, let's see if I can get the saying right. The sum of the parts is greater than one part. You know what I mean? Like them collectively just worked. It wasn't all about, I mean, sure, Erik Karlsson was a big part of that. Let's not kid ourselves. But
he was the engine.
Exactly. It was the fact that everything all worked out.
Shout out Rock Auto.
Love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to get that.
We're looking in our rear view mirror now, though, at that, and we're moving forward here because I think easily, like, there wasn't a 40-plus goal scorer on that team.
No,
we might have two of them.
Here's one for you, though. I like where Tim's head is at. So what about the 2001 Ottawa Senators versus the current Ottawa Senators? Because that team was arguably the most stacked the Sens have ever been. So I would put them up there too. Even 2006, 2007, whatever.
Yeah, that's where my mind went. Yeah.
No, 2006, 2007. Come on, like that team was an absolute wagon. I'm not ready to jump to that kind of conclusion here.
Fair.
You think this team is not as skilled as that team or talented? That was the question, right? Talented? I think
2017. 2017. I think these guys are more talented. But 2007. Like, let's let DeBrincat hit 50 goals before we start calling him Danny Heatley.
I think when you look at the top 9 depth-wise and the amount of offense that potential that group has, I think that if you put those top 9s head-to-head, I think the current Sens are right there. They're right there.
If the projeculations work out, then it could work.
We don't like premature line projeculations. I see a lot of it on Twitter. Just wait for it all to come out. See where they're at right before the day of the first game, and then you can set what you think the lineup's going to be.
I've got my Belleville lines ready to post, so should I maybe not do those? Maybe wait.
Yeah, hold on one more day.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, I think it's safe to do the Belleville ones.
Okay, you don't mind
Matt
that?
Wedman.
No, I don't mind those.
Yeah, I did see Wedman back. I like that. And it's nice that we're going to have an assistant GM in Ryan Bonus that's going to be very focused on Belleville, because I felt like it was a lot of Pierre Dorion's time last offseason especially was just spent getting guys for Belleville. Like, that cannot be your general manager's top priority. So clearly the 2 assistant general managers that were named have been a big boost for the Ottawa Senators recently. Yeah,
the pro side looks pretty friggin' good since Ryan Bonus came.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not even done either, right? So we're still in a situation here where Pierre Dorion is working the phones right now. We know he's working on a Connor Brown trade, and again, it's a mixed feeling about that. But when you look at Connor Brown was a top 6 guy on this team last year, who would you rather in your top 6? And let me go even more concrete. rather than saying who would you rather between Claude Giroux and Connor Brown, where I'd still take Claude Giroux. Who would you rather in top 6, Alex DeBrincat or Connor Brown? Couple Erie Otters, though. Couple former McDavid line mates, although at different times.
Yeah.
I think Connor Brown might have scored more junior goals just because of.
No, he didn't.
Oh, he
DeBrincat had
didn't?
65 goals in one season.
Connor Brown had a lot of points, though. I don't know about goals, but points, he was up there. He was in the hundreds, wasn't he?
Yeah, you don't think
Yeah,
DeBrincat
and I
was
think he-
too?
I think he
DeBrincat
played-
had 127 points and 65 goals in 63 games his last year in Erie, and then put up 38 in 22 playoff games.
She's pretty good, eh?
Yeah.
In
I like
3
him.
years, math guy. Let's see. This actually isn't super hard. 228, 328. 331 points in 3 years in the OHL for Alex DeBrincat. He actually had over 100 points in all 3 seasons.
Wow.
That's fun to look at.
And speaking of that, I was actually just about to pull that up because this is 3 p.m. So 2 p.m. That might be tight for us to stay on. Dorian speaking to the media at 3 p.m.
I got to hop out before 3.
Eastern. Yeah, but we will say, look at this dude. He played 3 years in junior and had over 50
Wow.
goals in all 3 years.
Oh my God. That's insane. Wow.
And you know what the best part about this was? Because how did this guy go 39th overall?
He's small. And at that point in what draft year? Yeah, the small guys hadn't taken over yet. So
How cool is it that Habs fans love Cole Caulfield? We literally got the better version of Cole Caulfield.
Yeah.
Much better version. And already proven.
I hope
So
they
in his
scrap each
draft
other.
year, he had already
Yeah,
scored
that'd be good.
100. Imagine
Featherweight
you say getting a
division.
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
The
awesome.
featherweight division. Let's
Lightweight.
go.
That would be awesome. Payback for Subban and Turris.
Although I don't know if I want to have DeBrincat's hands being risked.
Do you think he's been in a
that
fight
effort.
before? I want
Yeah.
to look this up.
He
Has
has.
Alex?
Yeah.
He's an
Okay.
NHL fight.
Yes, he has. He fought.
Who'd he fight?
Oh, frig! I know it. Hang on. Another
Oh,
like.
he's been in a couple.
Yeah, he throws them pretty good.
Spicy.
Actually,
I
he
like
throws
that.
them. He throws.
One of them is a tiny one. Actually, they're both smaller guys, but one of them was a big dog. He fought Matt Irwin was his first fight.
I saw one. Because I of course I looked it up, and yeah, he was throwing haymakers. Like he actually dropped the guy. It was good.
Yo,
All
so
right.
get this. His other 2 fights, Samuel Girard,
that's
Yeah.
a proper
I
weight
think that's the
class,
one I
yeah.
watched.
and then the other one this past season fought Yanni Gord in Seattle. Tough customer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
so-
man, these little guys, you got to watch out when they get pissed off. You never know. He's
And just because they're short doesn't mean they're not strong. Like those guys are in the gym.
They just
Yeah.
snap.
Yeah.
low center of gravity too. It's not easy to handle.
So should we do a quick little recap? Because Parley's just about to join here. We'll get his take on the Senators
Perfect.
offseason so far. I already tweeted out OG member of the Locked On Senators podcast.
Where's Jeremy
OG
Houston at? We gotta
yeah.
bring him around.
Hey boys, when Parley jumps on, I'll jump off because I actually got some actual work I need to get to.
Fair.
What?
You have a real job.
I have a day
Huh?
job.
What's that?
Yeah, taking a bit of a break right now, as you can see. But yeah, that's
Oh my God.
I gotta get
all right. And Kevin wants to read it, or he sent us a tweet here that he sent to TSN 1200. So we'll read that on air in just a moment. But first things first, let's go through and kind of see where we're at in terms of the free agent frenzy. And the major signings happened late last night that were re-signings with Evgeny Malkin and Evander Kane staying exactly where they were, both 4-year contracts, 5.13 for Evander Kane, 6.10 for Evgeny Malkin. And I can't wait to hear the story of how Sidney Crosby saved these negotiations because he
Honestly.
is definitely a huge part of how this all happened. Oh, we got a Giroux presser in less than an hour at the CTC. That's going to be absolutely electric too. We'll
That's
be
gonna be
excited
awesome.
to see that. Okay, some signings we don't care too much about. You have to love it though. The second signing of the day was Claude Giroux to the Ottawa Senators. The first one, Jack Campbell, going at a 5x5 to Edmonton. Certainly an upgrade over Mike Smith though, and who will be the backup in Mikko Koskinen, who's gone. The Kuzmenko deal was official. Of course, that's why you don't projeculate, because there's times like that we were guilty of it, having him in the we were guilty of having him in the Sens lineup. And Damien saying, will he wear the jersey? Of course. Claude Giroux, of course, will be rocking the jersey there.
Yeah,
I would
it has
imagine.
to look
No,
good.
they have to have one all printed out for him, but what number are they going to put on the back if they haven't traded Connor Brown within the last hour too, right? They're not going to put 28 on it when they have Brown.
I think you just do it.
I mean, Tim Stützle had 88 on his draft jersey, so we know it's not
but
concrete.
it's someone else's number. You can't that's such.
Alex
Imagine
DeBrincat was pretty confident in
Yeah.
12. So
You know what's going to happen is they're going to trade Brown before that press conference happens, and then they're going to leave no doubt.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm excited that this is pouring out. We'll get to actually hear and see Claude Giroux because I know he did that interview with. So I'm just looking at the details here of that Brent Burns trade. Not a whole lot coming back. I guess it's the contract relief there, and now Erik Karlsson, the no doubt king of that blue line out in San Jose, kind of carrying along Marc-Edouard Vlasic's corpse at this point. Andrew Kopp was a big contract going to Detroit. We touched on that a little bit for 5.63. Nick Leddy signing a 4x4 to stay in St. Louis, where he was dealt to at the deadline. Oli Mata going to Detroit as well on a 1-year deal. I actually love that for Ottawa because he's one of the worst defensemen in the league for my money. Yeah. I didn't see this. How about Chicago trying to ice an NHL team this year? Max Domi and Andre Athanasiou both signing matching 1-year, $3 million contracts. Ilya Mikheyev, I missed this one too. 4 years at 4.75 to the Vancouver Canucks.
Whoa. Wow. They got an interesting roster now. Holy.
Yeah. With him and Kuzmenko. That's a couple forwards.
And JT Miller's still there. Like, damn.
Yeah. Interesting. Yarrow Halak to Manhattan to the New York Rangers to be Shesterkin's backup. That'll be a good mentor type for him, although I'm sure he won't play very often. I already mentioned Nemesnikov. No salary on the two Arizona guys, but they acquired not only Josh Brown, sends abroad, but also Nick Bjugstad will be going there as well. Pretty underperforming year last for him with only 13.7 goals in 57 games. Frankie Vetrano signed a 3-year deal for 3.65 with the Anaheim Ducks. And Adam Gaudette, maybe the best opportunity of his life, going to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Another sens
shootout specialist, though. Look out if they get to
Classic
the shootout.
Kyle Dubas, just looking at former Sens.
Loves the Sens. Remember that week where Kyle Dubas followed all of Sens Twitter?
Yeah. That was fun.
Didn't follow me, not me, just you guys.
He didn't follow you?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
unless I missed it.
Oh, shit.
Sorry.
Way to go, Ross.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Wow.
Sorry.
Kyle, if you're listening, I'm looking for new followers. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Eric Comrie, I'm a big fan of his. I mentioned that I did the Winnipeg Jets videos this year. He was my favorite one to do. Great family, great kid. You would think he could be a little stuck up. His dad sold his company for $500 million, something like that. Is it?
Is he related to Mike Comrie?
Yeah, his brother, half brother.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah,
wow.
But their dad started the Brick, the furniture warehouse.
Not a big deal. Yeah. But wasn't it Mike Comrie's story on Chicklets where he doesn't get the $1 million steak, he gets the $1 billion steak?
Yeah, and he says he won't go to a basketball game unless he gets splinters in his feet.
Yeah, love it.
But Eric Comrie, great kid. Great kid. So great to see him. And Buffalo needed a goalie. Yeah. So talk about a couple good guys in goal for Buffalo, and even Malcolm Subban in the mix, but Eric Comrie and Craig Anderson there. From good guys to bad guys, Brendan Lemieux staying in Los Angeles. Brickhead, he can stay there. Ian Cole, no word on if the Carolina reporter Ali Laber is going to go with him to Tampa. That was a crazy story. You hear that one?
No, what do you mean?
One of the Carolina beat reporters for Bally Sports had an affair with Ian Cole, and her husband found out a day before the wedding. What? Yeah, you didn't hear this?
No. What is going on?
Abby Labor, she follows us on Twitter. But so Abby, sorry, tough timing. But you did it to yourself. So her husband found out, and he broke up with her at the rehearsal dinner of their wedding, which was at like a destination spot. So everyone showed up to the wedding, and he's like, no, we're done.
This sounds like a Forgetting Sarah Marshall type.
I don't miss that
movie. Wow.
Yeah, just go to the tweet where the insider broke the Ian Cole signing. It's
legendary senator.
It's all on the bottom. And then Abby, and I feel like a reporter, if you're a reporter, you're probably not going to have a private Twitter account. So she's made her Twitter on private. And that's how I found out she followed us, because I went to her account and I could see it. But she hasn't liked or made any tweets recently. Sens legend, Ian Cole.
What a bomb to drop there, Ross. Wow.
Sends abroad. I feel
I
like,
was
hey,
just about to put that in the chat. That's so funny.
yeah,
Sens legend, unicorn.
Sens legend. So, well, it's better story than speaking of wild stuff. And we'll get back to the NHL in a little while. We appreciate everyone for joining us here on the Free Agent Frenzy stream, because being in Canada, you don't have many options. It's either Sportsnet or TSN. They're both national broadcasts, but obviously very, how do I say this nicely? Partial to the Toronto Maple Leafs and to a lesser extent the Montreal Canadiens. So we are here to, make sure that the Ottawa Senators are the focus of the discussion, as it should be, because the Ottawa Senators are the center of the National Hockey League. As I'm watching a Nikita Zadorov clip, as they're showing kind of like his highlights, and the clip is in Ottawa, so just kind of shows you the Ottawa Senators of the center
Ross,
of the universe.
Breaking news: Mason Marchment to Dallas for 4 years, 4.5 mil. That's nice.
Paid quick. Wow, he's a good player though.
That's one you like to see, because he's had obviously a bit of a rough go recently with the passing of his father, just kind of suddenly there right before the draft. So and then with what happened, I mean, I guess Florida just didn't want to re-sign him or whatever happened there. So he's getting a nice little chunk of change from Dallas.
I don't think Florida could have afforded that contract.
No, they couldn't have, and that's a nice spot too to be Dallas, I would say.
Yeah, Dallas, great landing spot for him.
Yeah.
I was starting to say the Jets quarterback apparently had an affair with his mom's best friend. And then
Zach Wilson. Yeah.
Did you see what Zach Wilson just did? He kind of leaned into it.
No.
He just tweeted on Instagram. He said, been at Gazer with the fellas. Did I miss anything? With a couple pictures of him working out with his receivers.
Wow.
Wild times here. But as we get back to free agency, there's still some big names to be had. Like, I mean, Johnny Gaudreau. You've got Nazem Kadri.
Klingberg.
Yeah, Klingberg.
Do you think that there's a chance that he comes to Ottawa?
No, I think they've been talking, but I don't think there's a chance it happened. I don't want it either. Yeah.
I would not. I mean, Dorion has to be doing his due diligence on any available top four defenseman who's right-handed. So, I mean, if the price comes down and probably the term would have to come down as well, then that's the only time I would say.
But that's not happening. This is like Klingberg's going to be cashing in for his life here.
Look at the team these Ottawa Senators are building, though, Pilsy.
Yeah, I mean,
who doesn't want a piece of them right now?
I just don't see it as a fit.
Yeah,
they got so many other needs.
Because I don't really want him on a pair with Shabbat. Like,
put Zub with Shabbat and put him with Sanda.
Yeah,
no,
I don't love it, but that would be better than Shabbat and Klingberg.
I think Sanderson's going to be defensively responsible. I'm not worried about him getting,
But as a rookie, you want an experienced vet that can help out defensively, I think.
You don't think Klingberg fits that bill at all?
He's an offensive guy. I'm not saying that he's a liability defensively, but like on that 1-2 punch, Klingberg's the guy pinching. Yeah, he's the guy taking the shots, I would say that
if something happened and Claude Giroux didn't end up signing in Ottawa and he signed somewhere else, I'm pretty sure that they probably would have been more in on Klingberg.
Yeah, if like they wanted to make a splash and they wanted to improve the D, that's the way to do it. I'm still of the mind the best way to improve the D is through trade, because when defensemen hit free agency, it's usually for a reason. It's usually because the team that just formerly had them said, okay, thanks for your services, but we're not ready to pay up what your market value probably is. And we're just willing, like the Dallas Stars did, we would rather just let you go rather than try to re-sign you. And they wanted to keep him for this playoff push. And he's going to get overpaid. And that's fine. Stick taps to him. But I just don't think now's the time for the Sens to make that move.
Hey, say what you want about Bar Down and, how not all their content is theirs. But I actually do appreciate this from Bar Down. Boys, how good does that look?
That's nice.
Oh, baby.
It looks unbelievable. And I mean, it's not only that, it's those jerseys are just the best.
Yeah, Drew's going to look so good in those jerseys.
The only thing is they're missing an A on his chest there. There's no way, especially with Connor Brown leaving, like he is wearing an A.
100%.
They are literally just covering Brown on the nameplate with Giroux.
Yeah.
28 with
even if Brown stays, I think that you give Giroux a letter no matter what. Like that's just his veteran presence right there.
Yeah, 100%. So him and Shabbat will wear the A's, and obviously Brady Tkachuk, the leader on this team. Nick Anderson Good Sense Central Citizen in my neck of the woods here in the Peg. B-Sen, Andrew
Damn.
Agazzino, going to San Jose. Thoughts, Pilsy? I know you liked him.
I liked him. I thought he was the perfect fringe guy and a good top six forward for Belleville. So that's too bad to see because I think he was a good soldier. You know what I mean? Like he probably had options where he thought maybe I can crack an NHL roster here. And he did get a cup of coffee in the NHL with the Sens, but he did a really good job. And he was a big part of a lot of moments getting Belleville to their first ever playoff appearance. Mind you, it was one sad tragedy, but they still got there.
That stunk. I hated how
that was dumb.
2 games. You're facing elimination on your first home game, and you have the more points during the regular season.
Brutal.
Both games were in overtime, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. I absolutely hate that. All right, what are we thinking? Where are we at right now? I feel like we're in almost a little bit of a lull here, where all the signings kind of came fast and furious. Claude Giroux is a member of the Ottawa Senators. Although
how fast did that happen, though, eh, Ross? It was like a minute after noon.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So when do you think they started negotiating? When do you think they started negotiating that contract?
Weeks ago.
Yeah, honestly, yeah,
for sure.
I loved how good was James Duthie's first question that he put in there.
What was it? First, remind us.
To Claude, he said, "Was home enough, or did you have to see the moves that the Senators made to make?" I love this
it. He goes, "The moves didn't hurt."
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. So what do we see here? Giuseppe, nice little question for us here. How much time do we give DJ to get this team winning? All-star break, full season, or longer? I'll start by saying they better win more than 4 of their first 20 games like they have in each of the first 2 seasons that he's been there. So
take whatever the record was in the first 20 games last year and flip it. That's probably what it's going to end up being.
I give him a leash here because, like I've mentioned before, I don't know, or I would even say I don't think DJ Smith is the guy to be the coach when the Sens are in the playoffs, but he has earned himself the chance at least. Yeah. So give him the year when the Sens make the playoffs, see how he does, and go from there. I don't think there should be any reason why DJ Smith isn't given the opportunity for the full year, even if they have a bad start. Which, oh my God, I cannot handle myself if that happens for another year. But even if it happens again, which I don't think it will, God forbid, I still give him that leash because he has had to deal with the most amount of crap that I think any NHL coach in his tenure of time in the entire league has had. Like, no one's had to deal with more than DJ Smith. So give him that he was there and battled through the lows. Let him shine in the highs.
Funny note, too, from the Giroux hit on TSN, he did mention how he thought that Ottawa was a very well-coached team based on playing against them as a member of the Flyers. So a little vote of confidence there from the new guy.
And most teams and most opponents say that. Like, I joked about it earlier. I can't remember what platform this was on. Ross and I have been doing hits, videos left, right, and center today. But sometime today, I said that teams would come into Ottawa and, when the camera and microphone's in their face, they'd be like, yeah, Ottawa, they are where they are, but they're hardworking. You got it. They're great effort every time. And it was almost like being the Leafs and being like, we got respect in the handshake line. Put that in the rafters. We got that respect. Like, that's what it felt like. Like, it's literally nothing. It's nothing. It's a nice thing to say, but it means nothing.
It's a participation ribbon.
Yeah, and it's pity. Like, that's what it is, really. So now that's not going to be the case anymore. Like, now the work and the results are finally going to match up.
Yeah, and everyone says nowadays too, right, Pilsy, that coaching is more so keeping the culture intact and keeping everyone's head in line, and it's less X's and O's and more of the other stuff. So
agreed.
I think DJ's good at the other stuff. I don't know how. Obviously I'm not there, so I don't know what kind of X's and O's they're even doing half the time. So, but when it comes to getting the guys on the same page and there's a culture that they want to hold up. That's DJ Smith is able to help with that, I think, for sure. Yeah.
So, guys, before we let you go, I know you got to run, Martian, but
I got to go in 3.
A trade just went down here that I think we can spin into a Senators angle. Again, this is something that you would never get on TSN or on Sportsnet. The New York Rangers have traded Patrick Nemeth to Arizona along with a second-round pick and a third-round pick, or it's either a 2024 third or a 2026 second. So the Yotes will have the choice on that. But basically a second and a third rounder there. And in exchange, they get off a contract that has this year and next at a 2.5 cap hit, 2.5 in real money this year, and 3.5. So that's 2/3 right there for a guy who's making 60% of what Nikita Zaitsev is. So that would be an expensive contract to get out of right now, it seems.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that doesn't look good. Yeah,
when you're comparing the two things, then yeah, you kind of just said it. It's not super encouraging. Do they really have to get rid of him? Just sit him. Just put him in the press box and eat the money.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We'll see what happens. And next time we see you, Martian, it's likely going to be on Monday's Locked On Senators with Tyler Boucher.
Yes.
So
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. He goes, yeah, just let me know on Saturday. We'll see. But I'd say 75% chance we'll get that done.
Cool.
He's a good kid. He was stoked when I said you were going to be with us too. So, Martian, we appreciate you. Everyone, keep following at Lalim's Martian on Twitter. The streets are red hot. Everyone,
Stay tuned.
throw it.
I have a feeling the streets are going to be talking to me a little bit later, so we'll see.
Whoa. All right, we'll be keeping our eyes out for that. You know what? We did it for Mendes, so let's get some goat emojis in there.
Yeah.
Martian on the way out. Martian, love you, buddy.
Just give me what's the emoji for me would be like a silver medal.
No, I was gonna say
or like a UFO or something for the Martian.
I like the eyes.
Yeah, the alien eyes. Yeah, I like that.
No, how about this? How about
the alien eyes is the one.
How about the green, yellow, red lights, like a traffic light, because you're on the streets.
For the streets. That's cool.
For the streets.
We'll work on that. Let's workshop it.
That's a work in progress.
All right, buddy. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Get to your real job.
See you guys. Have fun.
All right, Pillsy. And now we've teased it. We have to bring on the OG himself.
Oh,
Carly,
my
what's
God.
going on, buddy? How are you?
Woo!
Can you see the
and he's muted. There he goes.
He's in.
He's in. Let's hear it.
I'm in. I'm already so I was trying to figure out the time to get me saying I'm muted.
Do they have internet in Woodstock? Parley,
you weren't muted. It was just frozen. Yeah.
Is
Woodstock's
it that
finest.
bad?
Where are you?
No. Okay. We're good.
Go.
We're good.
Now
Okay.
You're right
All right.
there.
You're on.
Well, right on. Perfect. First, Claude Giroux gets signed, and now
Parley's you're killing me, buddy. We love you. The smiles all the time, but we can't even hear you. We got to get this all fixed up here. Spin it around. We'll do a little bit of talking there in the meantime. I love Parley. We hope that we can get him going. Yeah, the struggle's real, but this is what live streams are all about, is battling through all this. Hey, we actually did get some second place medals in the chat for Atleem's Martian.
Seems like the traffic light is where people are going. So that's
I like the traffic light.
All right. I like it too, but you had it horizontally.
I know. I pressed the wrong
That's
button.
Quebecois traffic light.
Is it?
It threw
or
me
is it
for
Euro?
a loop. No, they use the horizontal one.
No, they don't. Do they? Yeah, maybe.
Come on.
Do they?
Jeez.
They
do.
I'm not
Confirmed.
Sure. Let's try Parley one more time. I really want this to work. Parley, I love you, buddy. We need to make this work.
can't help on any traffic light.
We tried.
No.
We tried. I love them. But what's going on? Like, it's... Anyways, neither here nor there.
Woodstock internet.
We love... Parley, we love you, buddy. All right, so back to not trade deadline, but that trade with Nemeth. So, like, what would it cost to offload Nikita Zaitsev?
Yeah, so sorry. I've been all jumbled since you put that out. Can you remind me again what the deal was?
The deal was a second-round pick and a third-round pick in 2024. But if they would like to move it way further back, then that 2024 third can turn into a 2026 second. So it could be 2 second-round picks. That's exactly what they got for Shane Gostisbehere as well, who turned out to be a 50-point defenseman.
What was Nemeth's cap hit?
2.5 for this year and next.
Yeah, so Nikita, but I don't think you don't need to desperately move Nikita Zaitsev now, but it's just an anchor sitting on you there. But he's
And
got to
DJ
go
Smith will
soon.
use him. He
Yeah,
will
and he
use him.
will use him. Yeah, so I think Pierre Dorion turns up the Jets on getting rid of Zaitsev once he acquires, if and when he acquires his new top 4D. Because
When do
at
you think
that
that'll
point, then
be?
you have to move things out.
Yeah, I mean, this Connor Brown talk, usually when Bob McKenzie's on it, it's pretty soon after. So I'm curious what the play is right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Now
How
I'm
about
getting
Craig
thrown
Butt?
off. I swear they use horizontal traffic lights in Montreal. I was just there.
what I'm sure there are a lot of Quebecois Sens fans here in the chat. Hopefully they can help us out. I can tell you they use vertical ones in Manitoba and in Ontario, but that is so funny. Did we have a Gabranson to the Columbus Blue Jackets?
Goody. Kind of boy.
I mean, they struck out. Who were they talking about? Oh, Chikrin. There was conversations, but Chikrin's got a no trade, I'm pretty sure. So, look at Parley. Yikes. My bad, everyone. Hey, you're golden, Parley. We love you. We'll get you on here sooner rather than later. Kevin Weeks on Trade Center right now. Always well dressed, that man. We got to get Weeksy on a
that'd be great
on an episode sometime. Horizontal in Alberta.
Huh? Man, this is a weird rabbit hole we've gone down.
Dude,
I remember...
you want to see a weird rabbit hole? How about Robert Hill pulling out my junior C stats? Ross, how'd you manage to get penalties in 4 to 9 games?
Probably chirping the ref. This guy can't keep his mouth shut.
Robert, look at my goals against average. Our team was brutal. And sometimes we hotbox the car on the way to the game. So that was, let's just say we weren't taking hockey too seriously, but we were having a lot of fun. And yes, funny, we're talking about Quebec and traffic lights there. And my time with the Gatineau Express comes up in the NCJHL. That is absolutely hilarious.
No, here Robert. It is. The lights are horizontal. Panzer Wolf. Yeah, okay. Thank you, guys. I thought it was going crazy for a second. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're all good here. Together. This is the kind of breaking news that we're going to have here on Locked On Senators and the live stream for the 2022 free agency period. Now,
these vibes have been immaculate. I like hanging out with you guys for over an hour and 40 minutes. We're shooting the shit with the Sens. We're figuring out what way traffic lights go in every province. This has been a blast.
It's been an absolute blast. And I recorded a quick piece with Gil Martin from Locked On NHL a little bit earlier. We've got that available on YouTube. Same with Pillsy and I's initial reaction. We put it out the moment that Claude Giroux had his hit with TSN. We threw that out. And now here we are just shooting the breeze as we do here as I got to get ready for work here in a little while.
Let's cap it at 2:45. That I feel like that's the cap because I gotta go for 3 as well. So I haven't eaten in a while.
Me neither, but dude, tons of content to sink your teeth into here. Nick Delorier and Justin Braun heading to Philadelphia. So that
Lekanen extension apparently. What's the deal there?
What's that?
Louitit, or I can't get this guy's name right. Apologies, but 5-year extension for Lekanen. Do we have terms on that?
No, 5 years.
That's interesting.
My goodness.
I know they liked him a lot in Colorado, though. Like him and Nichushkin were two guys that Colorado views, I think, with more value than the rest of the league does.
Yeah, 100%. No, I'm just excited that the tides have turned in Ottawa. It really does feel like, and maybe it's the delirium that so comes after a big signing. But one, I don't think he's done in Pierre Dorion.
He is not done.
2, the Senators Stanley Cup odds have moved from plus 8,000 to plus 5,500 already. So get on that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got to get on that. Yup.
Yeah, get our friends.
I do it every year.
Yeah. A long time ago, I put that the Sens would be the next Canadian team to win the Cup. So I got that, I think, at like plus 950.
Hopefully you got the receipt on that.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like 2012 I put that in. Certainly, it could have been 1994. I would have put that in. I don't even know how they did that back then. That to say, I'm just so excited. And look at this. We got a video out from the Sens staff here on Claude Giroux. And the first thing, it's a 7-time All-Star, 923 career NHL points. Like, let's get that in the mix here for in the chat. Like, what are points expectations for Claude Giroux with the Ottawa Senators? Are you expecting the same production that he had this past season, about 65 to 70? What are you expecting for Claude Giroux? I already set him on record, 77, 78. Get him up at that 1,000-point milestone that he's oh so close to. But what are you thinking for points projection?
I got him at 60, just because I think that he's going to be, I mean, playing with Stützle and DeBrincat, if that's where he ends up playing, which I think it is, he's going to be involved in points just as it is. But I think he's going to really have a lot of responsibility defensively, and that's where he's really going to make things work. But I mean, geez, 60 points is nothing to be upset about for a 35-year-old. So I think 60 is an appropriate spot for him.
Yeah, that's fair. And we're getting some write-ups here in the chat, like 70. That's a pretty big range. Some people saying all the way down at like 40, but Kevin saying 50 to 60 would be good. 65.
I would be surprised if it went under 50.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So get this, Craig Button, and this is from Daham. We appreciate you. Sorry if I butchered that, but we appreciate you saying that Craig Button, who's a friend of the show, we are going to chat with him later on this summer, that Jake Sanderson is not ready to be a top 4D. And if you try to force him into that role, you're making a big mistake. And we know how high Craig Button is on Jake Sanderson long-term. So I found that interesting. He also adds, if you have to trade Ridley Gregg to get Chychrun, you make the move. I don't think it would even cost that. What would you rather trade, the 2023 first-round pick or Ridley Gregg?
The pick.
Me too.
Ridley's further along. He fits into what the Sens are trying to do. He's an absolute beauty. Keep him around. But if he is the cost to, if the Yotes are like, hey, we got picks, we're looking for some good prospects here, and he's the cost for Chychrun, I would pull the trigger on that.
I just think you try to convince Arizona that Jarventi's your guy because they've already got Michelli, his former line mate in Eels. You try to make that connection and go from there. Obviously, it would take a lot more than just that.
But their prospects are forward heavy, right? And then if you trade Chychrun,
so how about both Eels guys? How about you give them Thompson and Jarventi?
I would love if they would be interested in Brandstrom, because I think that would make sense as a project and a good prospect for them, but someone who can also play NHL minutes on their roster.
So what's really interesting about the Jake Sanderson discussion, though, before we kind of got off board, but with Chychrun, like, we're talking about adding a defenseman, but still having Sanderson in the top 4. But I think that even if you add that partner for Shabbat, on paper, you can still put that Nick Holden's your second pair left side D. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But in certain situations within the game, then you can have Jake Sanderson out for the offensive zone faceoff and have Holden take control of the back end a little bit more. So I don't mind if that's how they roll it, because Nick Holden's a perfectly reliable defensive defenseman. So I think it's fine if they go that direction, but I still think Jake Sanderson by the end of next year is going to be a guy who averages 20, 22 minutes a game. He's just too good, and a kind of guy like we saw it at the Olympics. Like, anywhere this guy plays, what coach isn't going to tap him on the shoulder when you have him available to you? I just don't see it.
Now, the NHL is a whole different beast as a rookie, as a defenseman, definitely. But I agree. I don't think it's going to be too long before we can trust Sanderson here. And you know what? This is a year where, yes, they're pushing in and they're trying to contend for the playoffs, but you got some wiggle room here, and you can try things out with Sanderson. I don't think it's at a point now where you have to know where he is and kind of put that in cement. So you got some room here, and adding Wade Redden, I love that. I think that's going to be a big boost for a guy like Jake Sanderson.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know why TSN is putting up a mock-up of Claude Giroux with Vancouver. They're pretty much getting desperate, and I would say that's probably a good time for us to put a bow on this one. We said 3,000. I think that was us being a little bit gung-ho, but we did get to 2,900, so we did get an extra nice little boost there. So we appreciate everyone for riding along with us here for the last 2 hours on the Locked On Free Agent Frenzy. 4.5 million, by the way, AAV for Lehkonen. Now, we will not be doing a live stream later on today, but if and when the Senators move on from Connor Brown, I think that would be worthy of a 2-3 minute reaction video for what the return is. So make sure you guys are staying locked on Senators wherever you get your podcasts. And on YouTube, if you keep want to hear about Claude Giroux, you can also get this on a repeat. It'll be available to you on demand. And we also put 2 under 10-minute videos out again, all on Claude Giroux, potentially the biggest free agent signing in Senators franchise history. He will be speaking to the media very soon, I believe coming up at the top of the hour. And then 1 hour after that, it'll be Pierre Dorion addressing the media. So that makes me believe there's something else cooking, because otherwise, why wouldn't they just do their press conferences in quick succession? So stay tuned for all that. Pillsy, any final notes here before we sign off on what will be a not as long as our mock draft, but almost 2-hour video here on Locked On Senators YouTube. Whoa, hold on, stop. Ben, are you serious? Gabranson got 4x4.
No. Is this bend over just trying to bend you over
Bend
here?
us over?
I don't know. Bend over. We got our
4x4.
eye on you.
No, dude.
That's too much. That's too much.
Get
And
the
too
bag
long.
though, Goody.
That's too much and too long. Oh my God.
Clear the bag.
Wow. Okay, final words for me wrapping up. Sens fans, don't look in the past. Forget about the past. Forget about the shitty dark years. Don't look to the future too much. I don't want to hear talks. Yeah, we got to Brinket, but how are we going to maintain his contract? When's Giroux going to stop slowing down pace? Don't do that. Live in the present moment right now. Enjoy these vibes. Soak it all in. It's finally happening for Sens fans. It's a great day to be a Sens fan, and this is going to be an epic season. So just bask in this moment. Don't go back. Don't go forward. Just be here and enjoy it.
Can we get some Go Sens Go in the chat? That's how we like to finish off the postcast and the postcast. Like the vibes. Are you kidding me? The vibes are going to be outstanding on the postcast coming up this season. I cannot wait. Is it October yet? And again, we're waiting to figure out just time off from work and everything to make sure we'll be able to get to the home opener. It is a 5-game homestand.
We are going to the home opener, Ross. You'll figure it out. We're not missing this home opener.
Okay, but we can't announce it.
I refuse to hear that. We're going to try. We're going to see. No, that's.
Well, what if we went to the first game of the season in Buffalo?
No, we're going to the home opener. We're
right.
going to the home opener.
Okay, yeah, we're going to do our absolute best.
No. We, say it with me, we are going to the home opener.
To the home opener.
Let's
All right,
go.
we're going to the home opener. We're going to the home opener. I can't wait. I can't wait till we see what comes out for Brady Tkachuk and Thomas Chabot, because I'm sure they are just fired up. Claude Giroux is an Ottawa Senator, a 3-year, $19.5 million contract. Nick, we appreciate. We will see you at the opener. All right, we are going to the home opener. Appreciate everyone for joining us. This has been awesome the last 2 days and beyond. It is an amazing time to be an Ottawa Senators fan. Be a friend, tell a friend about all the content available, almost 400 videos. And how fun would it be to go back and listen to how we would have sold Giroux on coming to Ottawa? Yep. All right, that's it for today. We will be back with a full episode of Locked On Senators tomorrow. This stream has been wild. I forgot. Like, we've had Ian Mendes on. We had Leaves Martian.
Parley even hopped in here.
Trying to get Parley. Parley, we're gonna get you on here when the internet works out. You know what the vibe is in Sensland right now? Can I hit you with the vibe in Sensland right now?
Hit me.
That's how we're feeling right now.
Oh yeah, I love it. Nick Holden is fired up about this offseason.
That is the vibe in Ottawa right now. So the checklist does continue. You're looking for a top 4 right shot defenseman. You are looking for an extension for this man right here, this beautiful man who scored 35 goals in 66 games. Pay him his bag.
Yeah.
Shout out to Erica Branson. $16 million. He's going to put that in the Ottawa economy one day. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Putting that in the Ottawa economy. So we absolutely love to see that. All right, ending off with a little bit of fun, some safety first. I got to go watch that video the Sens posted. And then, of course, we'll be back tomorrow. The vibes will stay immaculate, I promise you. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the special 2022 NHL Free Agent Frenzy stream on the Locked On Senators podcast. So part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.